Good afternoon, everybody. From the Williamsport Sun-Gazette, I'm Mitch, Rupert, standing alongside the Dr. Chris Masse. We're here to give you a little bit of a playoff preview for District 4 baseball. Gets underway tomorrow. We're standing here at South Williamsport Community Park. Don't worry, Sean Finn, we're not messing up your field at all, so you don't have to worry about that. But Chris, there's a lot of things to talk about, and as we put up a schedule here of the first round so folks can see who's going to be playing where, this might be one of the most balanced years we've had in terms of a Class A, Double A, Triple A field. A lot of talent. Is this one of the more balanced years that you can remember?
Yeah, I mean it was hard to make the predictions in the column this year. It's always hard, but this year was tougher. I don't think there was a dominant team out there. I think there's really good teams, but I think there's a lot of teams that are evenly matched, and a lot of teams that could end up winning this thing. I think, every year you can look at the field and you say, I can see 3-4 teams maybe winning this thing. I think you look at the Double A field in particular, I think almost anyone in that field could end up winning the thing. And I picked in the paper today, I picked the 11 seed, Danville, to win it. They're the last team in. And I think that's just indicative of the balance that there is. And Class A is a lot. I think that's the same way. St. John Newman was the last team in as a 6 seed, but they beat the top seed, Montgomery. So I think anybody can win in those two classifications. And Triple A is easy. It's Jersey Shore and Milton, but those two teams I think are as evenly matched as they get. I saw Milton on Saturday at the Giles tournament. They were outstanding. I think Jersey Shore's been the best team in the area all year. So that's going to be a great district championship, and the A and Double A tournaments are going to be fun too.
The reason Danville can be so dangerous, they have that ace in the hole. Andrew Andrachik really pitched them. Went to the starting rotation last year right around the postseason time. Had 11 strikeouts, I believe, against Hughesville. Pitched Danville into the state semifinals. That's why they're so dangerous. Talking about pitching, you got to start with Montoursville because they have that 1-2 punch that you really need in the postseason. Christian Clark, Pierce Rank. I know Pierce Rank's been battling some injuries. If Pierce is healthy, is that as dangerous a team as there is in the Double A field?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I put them with Danville too. The reason I like Danville so much right now is because not only is Andrachik pitching well, but Mason Fosnot's really come on, and when they started to make their move last year was when they got, I think it was it Mitch Wren's?
Yeah.
Anthony Wren, I can't remember. It was one of the Wren's kids, and they got that number 2 kid to go, and that's kind of what they're reminding me of now. It looks like maybe they're getting that 1-2 combo, but that's what Montoursville has if Rank is healthy. I like Christian Clark a lot, especially in the first game against Wellsboro. When he's on, I think he's as good as anybody in the district. And if Rank is healthy and he's pitching like he's capable of it, if he's healthy, just getting back into the flow could be tough because he hasn't pitched in a while. But if he's healthy, that's quite a combo. And if he's not, if he can't play, I think he's definitely going to play. He's going to hit. He's going to field. Pitching, I don't know about, but I think they have enough depth with Alec Rothrock and Andrew Knoll, and even Tegan Hurley. He was brilliant at the backyard brawl and
Fantastic.
And he came in and did the same thing at Giles on Saturday. Pitched 7 strong innings against Milton in the same situation, coming in the first inning. So I think they have enough that if they're hitting and playing good defense, even without ranked pitching, they could still be really dangerous.
We're pretty much used to Loyalsock being a postseason favorite at this time of year. Now, we're still not that far removed from the Lancer State title a few years ago, but now they're getting it done with some young kids, notably Kyle Datris, Jimmy Webb, the freshman sensations in there. Datris pitched great in the final at the Backyard Brawl, got a save in the first game at the Backyard Brawl. Are you surprised at how well they've adapted to the varsity game so quickly?
A little bit. I would have said they would win about 15 or 16 games. They ended up going 18-2, and that's after getting shellacked in the opener against Jersey Shore. And looking back, I think maybe that was the best thing for them. You don't want to lose, but I think the way they got beat kind of showed the young kids early on, just because you dominated at the youth levels. This is a different game now, and it doesn't mean you're going to come in here, throw your glove out there, and be the best team here. So I think they learned a lot from that game. And the thing about the young kids is, even though I just said it's not the same thing playing at the youth level, they've played in a ton of big games, playing in the Babe Ruth World Series and things like that over the years. I think they're kind of callous to these big game situations. I think you saw that at the Brawl where Datcher's pitched great and Luke Lavin, another freshman, came in. He pitched great. great to close it out. Jimmy Webb, another freshman, he's been stellar all year. So I think they don't really get rattled by these situations. I don't think it phases them. And the scary thing for opponents is they only lose 2 seniors from this team. So this is a team that's built to last, and it's a team that's built for now too. I think you mentioned Datris. I think he's as good as anybody in this field. I'd put him in the same league as Andrejczyk and Christian and Clark. And when Glavin's throwing well, when Zach Clark, who's really come on, is throwing well, they're tough to beat because they can score some runs. The only thing that concerns me about them is their defense was pretty subpar down the stretch. And Jeremy Eck knows it. He said after the brawl, that's going to come back and bite us if we don't start fielding better. But if they clean that up, they're going to be tough to beat.
Obviously, South Williamsport got off to the great start this year, 17-0. It was, I believe. And then they lose to Garrett Schneider, who just threw an absolute gem for Montgomery. Then they go 0-2 at the backyard brawl against some really good competition. Are you concerned at all that South's level of competition might come back to bite them at home?
It could. The thing about the Hack 3 is usually pretty solid, and I think this year it was more down than usual. Usually you can bank on 2 tough games against Southern Columbia, and for the first time since 1988, they missed the playoffs.
I was 5 in 1988, by the way.
I was 12. I was in 5th grade.
So he's old. I'm not.
Yeah. And I can't say I'm weeping for Southern Columbia because they knocked Garnet Valley, my team, out, and they knocked us out in the state quarterfinals in 1994. I thought I'd slip that in there.
Eventually you can let that go. You've been hanging on to this for as long as I've known you. Let that go.
I'll never let it go. But they weren't themselves this year. And Montgomery, they had a great year, but them, Muncie, they're kind of in. I don't want to say rebuilding because Montgomery went 16-2, but they weren't as. Offensively, they weren't as strong as they usually are, and you worry about going from seeing guys that are throwing in the low 70s, maybe even the upper 60s, to what you're going to be seeing guys in the low 80s, mid 80s. If it's Andrejczyk, you're going to be seeing upper 80s. So you worry about the transition, but at the same time, they've been looking forward to this for a year now. They got to the semifinals last year. Danville thumped them. I think that really has motivated them in the off season. So I think they've been waiting for this, and I think they hear the doubters out there saying, the Hack 3 was down this year. We don't think you played the toughest schedule. They know people are saying that, so I think they've got a lot to prove. They've got a big chip on their shoulder. So I think when push comes to shove, they are one of the best teams there. I like their lineup from top to bottom. Alex Carpenter, Brandon Gates are 2 good pitchers. So I think ultimately, I don't know if it'll also going to phase them too much. I don't think it will affect them that much. To make a long story short, I think they'll still be tough.
Yeah, they did what they were supposed to do against a little weaker competition. They won by 10 runs. They won by 15 runs. So that's a good sign for Sean Finn and South Williamsport. Now, real quickly, I got 3 teams here. I just want a real quick thought about each one. We'll start with Williamsport. Obviously had a great year. Good number 1 pitcher in Ryan Hostrander. What do you think about Williamsport?
I think they have the pitching to go all the way. You mentioned Hostrander. I like Sadiq Burkhalter. Jed Bartholomew's pitched well, too. They just got to hit. I mean, they're not going to – if they hit, they can win the whole thing. If they hit the way they've been hitting down the stretch, they might be one and done. It just comes down to their offense. Pitching and defense will keep them in it. But they got to score more than 1-2 runs a game to win it.
Obviously, Muncie has the ace in the hole, Doug Zahner. Won 6 games in the postseason, I believe, last year. Won 5. Took Muncie to the state semifinals. What are your thoughts on Muncie?
They're a sleeper. I mean, the way this tournament's set up this year, they're going Tuesday to Saturday, quarterfinals to semifinals. So he could pitch all 3 games conceivably. If they make a run, he'd be the starter in the quarters, semis, and the championship. And for that reason alone, I think they're real dangerous. I think he came on down the stretch. He kind of had some bad luck throughout the season, but he threw well against Sullivan County the last time they played. That's who they've got in the first round. Pitched great against Montgomery. You were there for that game, but Schneider pitched just a little bit better. But I like them a lot. You can never count out Chris Persing-led team. They're always tough at this time of the year, so I think them and Montgomery play in the semis, and I think that'll be a whale of a game.
And Montgomery, the last team I want to hear a thought about. These three teams all have one thing in common: a really good number one pitcher, Garrett Schneider from Montgomery. What are your thoughts on the Red Raiders?
I think they can go a long way with him. Like I said, their offense concerns me, but they can ride. They can pitch him in the semis. They can pitch him in the finals, and I would say he's the best pitcher in the field right now. You know, even if you go into Double-A, he'd be one of the best pitchers in that field too. He's a horse. He's a great competitor, and he loves to be in these big games. And he's performed well in big games. He gives them a shot to win this whole thing, and who knows if they get in the States, anything's possible. I mean, nobody expected Muncie to make a run last year, and they did. And him and even Alex Worthington's pitched well this year, so that could be a dangerous 1-2 combination if they could survive districts.
All right, now I'm going to put you on the spot because this wasn't in our pre-meeting notes right now. But this isn't like your favorite college basketball team or your favorite NBA team, so you can't make three picks here.
I have one. I have 1As and Pistons, Orioles, and Niners.
Give me your one team in our coverage area that you think could make the deepest run into the state playoffs and deep into the state playoffs.
That's a tough. I'll say I like Jersey Shore. I think whoever wins that Shore Milton game, I'll give you one answer, but we'll take some steps to get there. Whoever wins Shore Milton, I think both those teams could do something in states. I think Loyalsock has the pitching and the overall depth on the roster to possibly make a run. Like I said, I think Montgomery could. But if I have to pick one, I'll pick Jersey Shore. I really like Teleth Notabar pitching. Travis Eisworth's been tremendous this year, only a sophomore. Caleb Barnhart, just a great athlete. It's got to be nice to say, I haven't played baseball since my youth days. Senior year, I'm just going to go out there and pitch and have a 1.75 ERA. It's got to be nice to have that kind of talent. You got those three pitchers. You got a dangerous offense, a good defense. I like the way they're put together. And they've got the experience, too, from last year, losing to Tunkhannock, a team that went to the state championship in the first round. I think they're a team built to make a run if they get past Milton.
I'll be surprised. I didn't think he'd make a pick, so it was fun to put him on the spot like that. That'll do it here from South Williamsport Community Park. Look forward to the rest of the postseason. We'll be doing some more video updates like this and try to intermix some highlights and different things. So keep an eye out, Sun-Gazette.com. You can follow me and Doc Masse on Twitter. We're both there updating from the games that we're at, so follow along, keep updates on all the playoff action, and remember, www.sungazette.com for all your District 4 playoff coverage. From the Sun-Gazette, I'm Mitch Rupert, standing alongside the Dr. Chris Masse. We'll talk to you later.